Welcome to Walkathon Wednesday in North Hollywood. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Walkathon Wednesday. We have a little bit of a late start today, and I apologize about that. I was having more issues with my car today, so I ended up taking public transit to get here, which took a while. It's been a trying day. But we are here. We're in North Hollywood today. We are continuing our exploration of the Valley. And it's been a while since I've actually set foot in North Hollywood. I've been here a few times, but it's been a little while. So I am happy to be back here. This is the NBC Universal building right behind me, which is where we are going to start. And then we're going to follow along Lancashire Boulevard up through the NoHo Arts District and check out a couple other things to this area. North Hollywood has some pretty interesting significance, not just to Los Angeles, but to California as a whole. So we're really going to dive into that today, as well as get in a feel for how the neighborhood is, because it is similar to Hollywood only in name. The feel is completely different. So I look forward to showing that to you guys today. So let's get to it. This walkway crosses over top Lancashire Boulevard, taking us to Universal Studios from the subway station. I quite like the fog. Keeps the temperature cool. We're looking south at the inner city hills. So if we were going to Universal Studios, we'd literally just walk along that road in front of me, and I could totally go spend a day at the park if I wanted. Well, it's a little wet today, so I probably wouldn't want to, but nonetheless. Unlike the version in Florida, which is just a fake, this is the real working studio that doubles as two tourist attractions, a studio tour and a theme park. Both are included in admission. Oh, and just to clarify, NBC Universal is one entity. The two merged back in 2004. Comcast actually owns Universal Studios and all its parks worldwide. While the previous slides showed you the visitor tourist entrance, here you can see one of the studio gates for people who work here. Looks like catering just arrived. Another fun fact, technically this isn't in the city of Los Angeles. Universal Studios mostly lives in an unincorporated enclave called Universal City. Perhaps somewhat surprisingly, what lives across the street from Universal is a far more subtle attraction in itself, Campo de Cahuenga. It was here that the Treaty of Cahuenga was signed in 1847 by General Andres Pico of Mexico and Lieutenant Colonel John Fremont of the U.S. This agreement established a ceasefire between Mexican and U.S. forces within California during the Mexican-American War. Note that while this helped California more peaceably assimilate into the U.S., it would still be another year in 1848 before the territory was officially ceded. The Treaty of Cahuenga ultimately consolidated with the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo to officially end the war. With that, we're now crossing the Los Angeles River to actually enter North Hollywood. North Hollywood, or NoHo for short, is an eclectic neighborhood. It has a similar hipster vibe akin to areas like Silver Lake or Venice, but it's much more self-contained than either. Being right at the junction of the 101 and 170, where the valley meets the basin, this might be the busiest area in the valley outside Burbank. North Hollywood used to be called Lancashire before 1927. It was renamed mostly to capitalize on Hollywood's rising popularity. NoHo's location was primely nestled between two thriving communities at the time, Hollywood's film industry and Burbank's aviation industry. You'll find a high concentration of theaters, bars, and comedy clubs here. The NoHo Arts District is known for its local theater culture, not film, but stage. There's like 20 plus theaters in this little area. It gives a New York City vibe, but obviously much more muted. If this isn't the most North Hollywood thing I've seen. Fun fact about this place though. I visited last year, note this was 2022, when they used to just be called City Vibes Coffee. In October 2022, they rebranded the shop. Today, it's totally horror themed. I had to stop in for a visit. This is El Portal Theater. Built in 1926, it was historically a vaudeville house, and today is a performing arts venue. The Valley's aviation history is showcased here through a statue of Amelia Earhart. Earhart regularly worked on planes at Van Nuys, Glendale, and Burbank airports. She was the first woman to make a solo transcontinental flight in 1932, and also the first person ever to fly solo from Hawaii to the U.S. mainland in 1935. Next door, the library is named after her. This is the Academy of Television Arts and Sciences. They administer the Emmys, although the awards show itself takes place in downtown LA, usually at Microsoft Theater. North of the Arts District, we have a car wash and another welcome sign. This is what is left over from the storm we just had, or I should say the most recent storm, because we've been having quite a lot of them. On the topic of hidden, unassuming cocktail lounges, I think this one takes the cake. I've never seen sidewalks this wide in LA. Notice also the general lack of people out and about. Heading back into a residential area, I've made some interesting observations that I'll share with you next. So I've taken us back here in one of the residential parts of North Hollywood because I felt that this was a good opportunity to show some of the differences between a residential space within the valley as opposed to other parts of LA south of the hills. What you'll notice is that there aren't really any sidewalks back here, and that's because these are not through streets. If you look back at the map photo that I showed, and I'll post another one in a minute, you'll notice that some of the streets that make up each individual block are bigger than others. Those are the through streets for people traveling through the valley, which basically means that everywhere within each of those individual blocks that make up the grid-like pattern, the only people that are really traveling within them are the people who live there. Main streets for traveling traffic are more clearly defined in the valley. The result is that each block feels much quieter. Contrasts. That's about it for this area. Plazas like this one are a bit commonplace, since this area serves locals more so than visitors. Alright guys, we are going to go ahead and wrap up today's walk. I am heading back south towards the North Hollywood metro station. I'm going to take that back home. But yeah, definitely a shorter walk today, much shorter, especially compared to the Burbank walk that we did last time. But I actually really enjoyed that because sometimes with the longer walks, I find myself moving pretty quickly, sometimes rushing to get through everything that I want to cover. So today I noticed I was able to spend quite a bit more time at each of the individual spots that we visited. So I really enjoyed being able to do that and learning a little bit more about North Hollywood. This is really my kind of area. First of all, I'm a huge theater guy. I love stage performances of all kinds. And what I also really enjoyed is that North Hollywood very much feels like it has its own identity separate from the rest of the city, which I admire. I really like that. If I didn't live so far away from this area, I could see myself spending a lot more time here just in general. So really enjoyed exploring this area today, and I think between North Hollywood and Burbank, we've got a very strong start to the valley explorations here. But there is a lot more to see here, so hope you guys enjoyed this week, and I will see you next week. Good night from North Hollywood Red Line Station.